lollygagging and link us the vid.
Play.
Litty two titty at this whack ass funeral. You already know. Say Big Ken ain't from the hood. They said, ooh, damn. They said Big Ken ain't the big homie. Y'all already know where I'm from, B. Look at this ugly nigga, B. Word of my mother, I won't smack this nigga right here. Say I won't smack this
nigga. Coming out of the gate quick with a cool guy of the week contender. That's our man. You know, when I'm having fun watching a video, I don't want people coming in with "that's not real, that's fake, that's not a real clip of Scarlett Johansson getting her ass railed." I don't want that. I don't notice for at least for like 2 months, and then you think, well, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm already 2 months in. I'm gonna have to pay the little late fee anyway. And you know,
you can't see the sticker on my plate. Like I've got a thing that goes around it.
As a felon, is that something you want to say?
You watch
you watch your step.
Is that something you really want to say to a felon?
I'm gonna die before the show ends. You know what I learned? If you ever want to show a cop something on your phone, you hold it. And they will probably intentionally try to hold your phone for you. Like, you know, you don't give the cop your phone. Otherwise, you've given the cop your phone. If you want him to see a picture or a video or something, that shit just stays in your hand.
Yeah.
Well, the joke's on him. Mine's touch felt. And if the wrong person grabs it, Indiana Jones style, Hep C blades pop out all over.
Yeah. That's going to go your way in a court of law.
Your Honor, the officer did that to himself.
That's right. My booby-trapped phone was entirely his fault.
That is funny that you can get in trouble for booby traps on your own property, but then it also makes a lot of sense when I watched a YouTube video of like meth heads where like some cops were going into the house. Kyle's probably seen this, and they're like checking around for things. And like one of the stairs going upstairs was a false stair. And so if you made the mistake of stepping on it, a giant like poleaxe swings down Home Alone style from the top with an enormous like sickle on the end. And the guy was like filming it. He's like, and now watch this. And he steps to the side. If I put my foot here, it just goes, whoom! It would have gone through like horror movie style, just straight, like knock all your teeth out straight through the back of your neck. Would have been a gruesome way to go. And there's so much duct tape on it and rope and tension that
I don't
like
want
those
tests
methods
of dexterity when I'm extremely inebriated. It feels like that's not the right trap for a meth. I don't know. I've never done meth, so I don't know.
See,
maybe you're really alert on meth.
Yeah,
so
you're drinking, so you don't want to do that. You might forget. I don't use meth, but I am by far the most meth adjacent. A girl I went to school with was in a neighborhood that you wouldn't have guessed had a meth lab, and she had to like miss school once. And I remember like people telling us like, "Yeah, did you hear about Christine? The house 2 doors down from her exploded because it was a meth lab, and it tore off her entire neighbor's house and then pieces of her house. And so she's living at the Marriott." And I was like, "Oh damn,
suck ass!
Can't wait to make fun of her."
What am I going to do with the day my probation is up? If you want to ask AMA questions, it's $10. The same thing to get you PKA in early. We did PKA on a Monday this week, so you get it extra early. But I've known that for a very long time. It's the same thing that I would have done like last year or at any point during this whole thing. If they were just like called me and they're like, you know what, we're kind of done with this. You want to just go your way and we'll go ours. Immediately driving to the Atlanta airport, buying a plane ticket to Colorado when I'm gone.
Aren't you gonna miss
it's like that. It's like that scene at the end of The Usual Suspects. He's like, and just like that,
you're limping onto the plane, and then you start walking down the walkway.
I'll go straight from Verbal Kent to fucking Kaiser Soze, and like 5 seconds flat, I'll be fucking gone to the land of dope and honey.
Best movies of all time.
Oh, that's the land of dope and honey oil. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll be gone. I would leave right if they called right now and they were like, "Hey, we miscalculated. We should have counted like the last 2 years on your probation. So technically, you're free to go right now." I would be like, "Fuck you guys, I gotta go." I'd leave right.
just gone.
I'd be gone. Like I'd grab a few things on my way out, but I'm not even going to pack a bag. You know, I'm just to the airport and flying 600 miles an hour to the land of freedom.
I just can't believe that you would move to Colorado and not ski. It's so much fun. You can even be high while you're doing it.
skiing
You make
with
this
him.
out like a choice. You're like, I can't believe that you would just choose not to fly in the air like a bird. Like it would be great. I can't do it. It hurts.
Yes, you can.
It
You
hurts
gotta
my
keep
ankles,
those
Taylor.
ankles straight.
It has nothing to do with that. If I just put the boots on, put no pressure on, didn't even stand, if I sat with those ski boots on, it would be excruciating. Like I can
Then try
feel my
hated
heart
it.
or
beating
something.
in my ankles.
I was with Kyle when he gave skiing a good effort. It's not for him.
all day we're out there.
It was terrible. I don't know if I have it. Did we just ditch you and your your girlfriend and me went skiing instead?
A little slip there.
Yeah, right.
I also danced with my girlfriend. I was getting a little jelly.
Did I?
How much worse do we think the coronavirus is going to get? I like Chiz's suggestion here to pick an over under. How many die between this week and next week?
How many have died so far?
85 million.
So wait,
Wow, that's higher than I was thinking.
is
Mhm.
this
That's
actually
like
that's not true at
0.2%
all?
of
There's no
China.
way
Yeah.
85 million have
No,
died.
no, of course
I think about 850 have died. The question is, how many died this week?
I did see that some Indian scientists were trying to decipher the virus strain, and they found that there are some HIV-1 like strains in it. And so apparently if you get it, you can still get it later. Like it's not going to work with, your body's natural antibodies the way it
Ooh.
normally would.
Yeah, because
And
that's
so
normally like
interesting.
might be tougher to vaccinate.
Yeah. Like if it's like including shit that's in an autoimmune disease. So I don't know. I think, and maybe I'm a retard, but maybe I think it's probably bigger than they're letting on. I do not trust China's self-reported data.
Get out.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
come on.
they told us, hey, Tiananmen Square, 240 protesters died. All right, it wasn't 10,000. Where are you coming up with 10,000? It was closer to 10,000.
Was it?
Yeah,
I didn't
don't
know
doubt
that.
that.
Well, the reports vary greatly because you're dealing with
Bigly.
the Chinese bigly. So the reports are somewhere between 240 and 10,000.
Good God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I'm
they use
uneducated.
tanks.
I literally thought it was like dozens.
I mean, they crushed people with the government's position is like 240, the Chinese government's position, but they fired live rounds into crowds, like machine gun fire, and they ran people over with armored personnel carriers and crushed them in the streets.
Did that guy who was
the
standing in
running
front of the
over I
tank
knew.
get got?
I don't know what happened to Tank Man.
I was thinking it'd be pretty alpha of China to
I know
just
some of the students that
fire
were caught.
around right into his face.
A lot of them got like 5 or 7 years in prison. I know, who were like the instigators or whatever. The whole thing was like a politician died, and he was more of a reform guy, more democratic China, and things started going the other way after he died, and the protesters were in the street, and then the newspapers started mischaracterizing the protesters as violent, and so that made them protest even harder. Like, hey, you're lying about us in the paper. Now they're protesting about what China said about their protesting, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger until they called in the fucking people's whatever they call their army. They call them the fucking army with machine guns and armored personnel carriers. So the protesters started setting them on fire with Molotov cocktails, and they started shooting protesters and crushing them in the streets, and then they brought in the tanks, and that was about it.
Our protests are lame as shit compared to most
Right?
other countries. It's like, hey, we're holding up signs and we're wearing special hats. How do you like that? And China's like, thousands of people are dying.
Hong
They
Kong
don't like
protests
police.
pretty legit.
I think
there's a lot
500
of
people
them.
die this week. 500 more.
Did you see
500
that
in a
clip?
week? I'll take the under on that.
I'll take the over. I'll take the over on,
In a week?
on-
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to add a little bit of diversity into
Well,
betting.
I don't fucking know. Make it
Did you see the
5,000.
shit where because like there's so much protesting going on in France with those like yellow jackets
Still?
those people.
I remember that from
Yeah.
a year ago.
Oh dude, that's still going. There was a clip that went pretty big online of firefighters taking the side of the protesters and clashing with the police. That's insane. Absolutely mind.
That is insane.
Yeah, I had no idea that shit was still as big as it is, but apparently it is. So
Do you know what they're protesting over?
I do not. I don't know.
I don't care.
I know they really don't care for their president or whatever. But
Yeah,
I
Matt Crone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost all his popularity. I forget what triggered that switch.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know that he married his fucking like kindergarten teacher or some weird shit. She's like 25 years older than him.
Nope.
What's Xi Jinping's wife look like? Maybe he's got a little Chinese cutie.
I'm gonna say he does. Kyle?
Yeah, I bet she's cute.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
or
she's cuter than him, but
But not what you'd expect from a leader of the not free world.
no, I respect him less now.
Hey, what does Putin's lady look like?
Putin gets whatever fucking
Yeah.
blonde skinny gal he wants.
Your friend,
Oh, he looks
dude.
way younger in this. This has got to be ages ago.
Yeah, it looks like a good 10, 15 years ago. So she's gone rotten by now.
Yeah, goddamn shame.
Well, I think that's a wrap, boys.